What's going on, guys? I'm glad you guys could tune in tonight on a Saturday night instead of going out and partying. Lets me know that you're ready to take your idea from just that, an idea, to a brand new venture and maybe eventually into a fully fledged business. It can sound very daunting at first, and it can be if you don't understand all the steps in the process and what it takes. All right, so you want to start a business, and there could be a lot of motivations and reasonings why you want to begin a new venture. You could be looking for a side hustle, or just to make a little extra money, or you could have the dream of being 100% your own boss, setting your own hours and making your own rules, which is very, very rewarding in itself, let me tell you guys. But, oh crap, it also can be a big struggle. It can be a lot of stress. Oh, don't mind the jacket. It's kind of chilly out here tonight. It's like 30 something degrees down here in Alabama, which is crazy because this morning it's like 60 something degrees and raining. But anyway, so you want to start a business. All right. The first thing you need to do before you go anywhere is you want to look at yourself and do a skill and equipment inventory. And what that means is basically you take the idea that you have that you're wanting to begin your business with, and you say, hey, do I've got everything that I need to do this? Like, for example, I'll use my hot shot company, for example. All right. I've got trailers. I've got trucks. So that's basically everything that I would need to be able to start that business. Or like say I wanted to get into some landscaping stuff. I've got trucks to move the equipment around. We've got equipment here that I can do a lot of the work with, like as far as a bobcat and stuff like that. Or if you wanted to do, like a less involved business that don't quite require as much, upfront expenses. Like I've been ballparking here lately, maybe doing some made to order beef jerky, just as a little, side hustle. So what would that require? I'd need a dehydrator. I'd need, meat, spices, and whatnot. And I can acquire that stuff pretty cheap just by going to Walmart. So we got this idea. We're going to make beef jerky. All right. So I'm looking at about $20 for a dehydrator. Whatever the bottom round costs, because I used to do it a little bit. You're looking at maybe $20 or $30 to get your meat, your spices, and any sauce that you'll want. You'll need a knife, cutting board, some plastic baggies to marinate your meat in, and obviously electricity. All right, so we got that. All right, and then what you'll want to do after that, you need to figure out what kind of increments you're going to sell your jerky in. Like, if you're going to do like, I think I used to do like 2-ounce bags. So you take your total amount of money that it costs you, like say $30, and then you're going to say, how many bags of beef jerky can I get out of that 5 pounds of bottom round, or 2 pounds, whatever it is. All right, and then you're going to divide those bags by your total expenses, and that's going to be your break-even cost. and it's been a while. I can't. I used to sell the bags for like $5, and every batch that I would make, I would probably make $20, $20 or $30 a batch. So then you're going to mark up from whatever your bottom line cost is to your target. Like say you wanted to make like $3 a bag, so it cost me $2 to make it, and I'd make $3 off every bag that I sold. So that's where we start. We got our idea. All right. So next you're going to look at your business type, which is going to be, your corporation, your sole proprietorship, your partnership, LLC, INC, whatever. But you may not be that big into it just yet that you would need to go full blown incorporation right away. So what you probably want to do is start by, running just a sole proprietorship in the beginning, selling my beef jerky at like flea markets, maybe a local event, some shit like that. And, to get your money or get your name out there, and people, like say your beef jerky takes off, and you're selling it, and you can't make enough beef jerky to fill all your orders because your shit is just that good. All right, so we've come to a point now where we're going to have to step up our game. We're going to have to actually put this on paper to make it official. Like, I got my company, Privateer Solutions. We're making beef jerky because obviously I can no longer do it in my kitchen anymore with my $120 dehydrator. So, and I can't do it myself. So what we're going to have to do now, the next thing you're going to need to look at employees. I'm going to bring in more employees to help me make my beef jerky. And also with the various business types, you're going to have different tax rates. Obviously, I think your sole proprietorship is going to be the most expensive because, it's just you. You're just making your jerky. And I would suggest, just me, my opinion, you want to go with your full incorporation instead of LLC or the sole proprietorship. And that's just because the company will be able to protect you personally. Like, the company owns all the dehydrators and the equipment involved in making the jerky. Or in my case, the company will own all my trailers and my trucks. I don't own anything. The company owns it, because a corporation can actually own its own stuff. LLC can too. But, the benefits also of a incorporation, if you get big enough, you can have shares of stock, and, you can sell that to investors and, make extra working capital, which that brings up another point. If you need extra working capital to get started, you can get like a business loan, or like say, you wanted to get into like rent houses and stuff. You could, apply for maybe a business loan, or not a bit, buy your property through your company. That way, all your taxes and stuff will be taken care of with the company, and it won't actually, affect you personally as far as, not having those better tax rates, which I'll make a video later on talking about, breaking down the very specifics of each one. I've got a PowerPoint presentation somewhere I've done on this. I'll have to find it for you guys. Also, all right, so you're going to get your business type, you got your tax, which also I suggest you get a really good accountant. And if you guys want a reference for one, hit me up, and and I'll let you know who my personal accountant is. All right. So when you bring in employees, you may not even want to do this in your home anymore because we're big time in it now. We got so much jerky orders we can't fill it all. We're going to take down Jack Links and I can't think of any other brands, but anyway. So you're going to have to build a business. You're going to have to build an actual facility to do your jerky making in, and you're going to have to pay your employees, which will affect your rates later on. You may have to raise the price of your beef jerky. We can't quite make it anymore on $5 a bag, so we may have to go up to like $7 a bag. And if you guys notice, jerky's kind of expensive. So, which now that we've involved the dynamic of having to have employees, the next thing you're going to do, you're going to have to look at your state's labor laws and how they affect how you will run your business. Like, for example, a right to work state versus a not right to work state. And basically what that boils down to is, in a right to work state, you don't have to have unions and whatnot. Like, that really affects it affects both. So like in a right to work state, you don't have to be a member of a union to work somewhere. Like, say a coal mine votes to have a union. In a right to work state, you can choose to join that union or not. But in a not right to work state, once a union's voted in, everybody there has to join the union and pay union dues and all that bullshit. But in the right to work state, everybody still gets the benefits of the union, even if they're not in the union. Which I've never worked for one of those places, so I don't know what the atmosphere is like between the union and non-union workers. Also, you're going to want to know what you have to have as far as like workman's comp. Like, I know in Alabama, if you have more than 5 classified employees, you have to have workman's comp. And what that boils down to is, are these by the Federal Labor Law's definition of an employee, which an employee is somebody that you provide the equipment to work, you tell them when to work, you tell them how to do the work. If they're not classified as employees, they're classified basically as contract labor, which means they bring their own equipment to the job. Like in my hot shot business or my trucking business, if I leased on an owner operator, they're considered contract employees because they bring their own equipment, i.e. their trucks and their trailers, to me for work. I just give them loads and they haul it. Whereas if you got your beef jerky facility in your backyard, you built the facility and you provide the dehydrators and they just show up Monday through Friday to help you make beef jerky, then they're going to be considered an employee, which are two totally different entities, two totally different things when it comes to taxes for them. Contract employees, you'll do a 1099. They get 100% of their earnings, and they're responsible at the end of the year for filing those taxes. And you're responsible for nothing after that. Now, an employee, you have to do a W-2 on them, and I can't think off the top of my head the number for that, but I got it around here somewhere, which means you got to actually take payroll taxes out of their check, their FDIC, their state taxes, their federal taxes, and you got to make monthly tax drops for that. And, that can be a pain in the ass too. So, keep that in mind when you're deciding all this stuff. And once you get 5 employees or more than 5, you have to have workman's comp. And believe me, you can't try to skip under the table because the state will figure that shit out and they will send you letters wanting to know why you don't have workman's comp. Been there, done that. All right, so once you get your employees, and in all reality, the best business you can do will be one that you can completely automate with 0 employees and just you. Like an idea of this would be like a drop ship clothing company. You see these things on Facebook all the time. But, not every business that's completely, applicable like our beef jerky making. Obviously, at some point, we're going to have help to help us do this. Or with our trucking company, obviously, if we want to maximize our profits, we're going to need, employees, because you don't have the same profit margin on a lease truck as you do a company-owned truck. So, after that, you're going to need to be able to market. And you can have the best idea in the world. You could have the cure for cancer. You could have this drug right here to cure cancer. But if you can't market that idea effectively, you're not going to be able to sell it. On the adverse side, if you're really good at marketing, you can have a totally shit product and you can sell that thing like crazy. You could sell, ice to the Eskimos if you're good enough with your marketing and sales pitches. Oh yeah, that brings me back to marketing. All right. So another aspect of your marketing that you're going to need to do, and this would actually go back right below the skill inventory, and not many people really take this into consideration. You need to get an idea of what marketplace you're in, like the local area where you would start your beef jerky. What is the market like for beef jerky sales? Is there a lot of people that are looking for, homemade beef jerky, or do people just rather go to the gas station and buy a major manufacturer like Jack Links or something? And, if you can figure out, somebody told me that I'm not allowed. Let me share this. Somebody told me that I'm not allowed. All right, so back to what I was saying. All right, so you're going to have to carve out your niche and figure out what the market is for your beef jerky, whatever it is you're going to do. Like the beef jerky is going to be more of a local thing for a while until you get ginormous. So you're going to have to figure out how much money you can make, or even if there's even a niche for it on, for what your product is. Like my other venture was, doing trailer repairs and stuff. And I think there's a really good market for that around here because there's only just a couple of people that do it. And to be honest, I've never been satisfied with the product that they have been putting out. That's why I started doing it myself. But right now it's the winter time, so your truck guys, they're not really doing a whole lot of work. And let's face it, for the most part, farmers don't really care to, they don't want to stay ahead of stuff on the maintenance side. They wait till they've had a catastrophic breakdown, and then they want you to fix it. So that's where your marketing comes into play. Are you getting that out there? Does people know your name? Do they know you're there? Are your prices fair? And then, you have to look at your service or your product. Is your service or product better than your competitors? And if it is, people are going to try to gravitate towards you. I had a really good example of this when I was taking some business classes in college. One was like, all right, we're going to sell pizza. There's Pizza Hut 2 blocks down, there's a mom and pop pizza store across the street from the college. And then there's I think there was like a hot dog stand that sold, slices of pizza. So you're wanting to enter this marketplace, and you're going to have to figure out, all right, we got Pizza Hut, which is like the fast food restaurant. We've got mom and pop, which would kind of be a little bit between like fast food and like a high-end restaurant. And then we got the hot dog stand, which is like super convenient. So you're going to have to figure out how you can carve your place into there and offer a service that the other guys don't. Like me, for example, if you want me to work on your trailer, I will actually come out to where you're at and work on your trailer, provided it's not some kind of horrible fucking complete breakdown that I can't do on the side of the road or in your field. And then which I don't mind actually tow your trailer back to my facility and fix it. There might be a little bit of a charge depending on how fucked up it is, but that's a service that I offer. People can take advantage of it, which my other 2 main competitors, they ain't going to do that shit. You either bring it to them or they don't work on it. So this is the stuff that you're going to have to take into consideration. Also, branding with a logo and getting out there and shaking hands and talking to people and getting your business out there. So once you get all this stuff rolling, that's when you'll actually be able to develop a client list. And, the best advertisement is not going to be paid advertisements like you see the Facebook ads and shit. It's going to be actual people spreading your business's name and quality out there. Like, oh, check out Privateer. They really good at fixing trailers, and they're not going to scalp the fuck out of you when they do it. Oh, and that dude's great. He came out to my farm, picked my trailer up, took it back to his shop and worked on it, fixed it, brought it right back to my house. Didn't even have to lift a finger. All I had to do was make a phone call. And that's just kind of examples of stuff that, you'll want to do to separate yourself from your competition. And also you're going to want to have to be able to figure out how to collect your money. Because obviously, let's say if you do 100% cash-based system, it's going to be a pain for pretty much everybody born after like 1990 because, I don't carry a lot of cash on me. It's very rare that you see me walking around with cash. So you're going to have to figure out how to accept credit, debit cards. Also, maybe, use PayPal as an option or the Cash App, or, if you're super, super fucking innovative, you might take Bitcoin or something. But that's a rundown, guys. If you guys got any questions, comments, or concerns, drop me a line below, hit me up. Also, I do consultations. If you need, you want some really personalized advice on how to get your transportation business started up, where to go to actually start your incorporations and all that, or if you have a general question that you just can't find the answer to, hit me up. I'll see what I can find out. If I can't, satisfy your questions, then, I'm not going to charge you. But until then, guys, keep them wheels turning, keep that money flowing.